Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Ashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhagavati Nashtiki.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 3rd chapter, 20th verse. Sattvam trilokasthitaye swamayaya
Sattvam Trilokasthitaye Swamayaya
Vibharshi Suklam Khalu Varnamatmanaha
Vibharshi Shuklam Khalu Varnamatmanaha
Sargaya Raktam Rajasopabrimhitam
Sargaya Raktam Rajasopabrimhitam
Krishnam Chavarnam Tamasa Janatyaye.
Krishnam Chavaranam Tamasa Janatyaye.
Translation. My Lord, your form is transcendental to the three material modes. Yet, for the maintenance of the three worlds, you assume the white color of Vishnu in goodness. For creation, which is surrounded by the quality of passion, you appear reddish. And at the end, when there is need for annihilation, which is surrounded by ignorance, you appear blackish. Please repeat, my Lord.
My Lord,
Your form is transcendental
is transcendental
to the three material modes.
to the three material modes.
Yet for the maintenance of the three worlds, you assume the white color of Vishnu in goodness. For creation, which is surrounded by the quality of passion, you appear reddish. And at the end, when there is need for annihilation, which is surrounded by ignorance, you appear blackish. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Vasudeva prayed to the Lord, you are called Suklam. Suklam or whiteness is a symbolic representation of the absolute truth because it is unaffected by the material qualities. Lord Brahma is called Rakta or red because Brahma represents the qualities of passion or creation. Darkness is entrusted to Lord Shiva because he annihilates the cosmos. The creation, annihilation and maintenance of this cosmic manifestation are conducted by your potencies, yet you are always unaffected by those qualities. Where is this quote starting? As confirmed in the Vedas, Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always free from all material qualities. It is also said that qualities of passion and ignorance are non-existent in the person of the Supreme Lord. In this verse, the three colors, Sukla, Rakta and Krishna, are not to be understood literally in terms of what we experience with our senses, but rather as representatives of Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamo-guna. After all, sometimes we see that a duck is white, although it is in Tamo-guna, the mode of ignorance. Illustrating the logic called Bhakanda Nyaya. Bhakanda Nyaya. The duck is such a fool that it runs after the testicles of a bull, thinking them to be a hanging fish that can be taken when it drops. Thus the duck is always in darkness. Vyasdeva, however, the compiler of the Vedic literature, is blackish. But this does not mean that he is in Tamoguna. Rather, he is in the highest position of Sattva-guna, beyond the material modes of nature. Sometimes these colors, Sukla, Rakta, Tata, Pita, are used to designate Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas and Sudras. Lord Kshirodak Shai Vishnu is celebrated as possessing a blackish color. Lord Shiva is whitish. Lord Brahma is reddish. But according to Sanatana Goswami in the Vaishnava Toshani Tika, this exhibition of colors is not what is referred to here. The real understanding of Sukla, Rakta and Krishna is as follows. The Lord is always transcendental, but for the sake of creation, he assumes the color of Rakta as Lord Brahma. Again, sometimes the Lord becomes angry, as he says in Bhagavad Gita. Tan aham dushatah kruran samsareshu naradhamat kshipami ajasram asubhan asurishvayeva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. To destroy the demons, the Lord becomes angry. Therefore, he assumes the form of Lord Shiva. In summary, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always beyond the material qualities, and we should not be misled into thinking otherwise, simply because of sense perception. One must understand the position of the Lord through the authorities or Mahajaras, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter, 28th sloka. Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Hrudayanti Yuge Yuge. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami Niti Namini Namah Sadbhakta Mane Manipur Bhavaya Cha Prabhupada Sadvani Prachar Nirtayate. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyamadi Pachyatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, the verse is wonderful, but it looks extraordinary with the commentary of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada brings in such a different perspectives that may cross to us when we think about color of the Lord. The Srila Prabhupada is addressing all of those perspectives that may cross our mind. My Lord, your form is transcendental to the three material modes, yet for the maintenance of the three worlds, you assume the white color of Vishnu in goodness or creation, which is surrounded by the quality of passion, you appear reddish. And at the end, when there is need for annihilation, which is surrounded by ignorance, you appear blackish. So, the Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, are being praised by Vasudeva as the incarnations of the Lord. The prayers are offered in great happiness. Right? Vasudeva and Devaki, they were so happy that Lord appeared before them as Vishnu. Right? The people are suffering because of Kamsa's atrocities. So the Lord's appearance gives a great pleasure. And to indicate that it is the Lord who appeared, the Lord appears as four-handed Vishnu before them. So like Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhuna vinasaya cha dushkrita dharma samsthapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna says, whenever he takes avatar, in every yuga, he comes to give pleasure to the sadhus. Who are sadhus? Devaki, Vasudeva. Sadhu is not in dress, it is the heart, the devotees. What is the heart of a sadhu? He wants Krishna more than anything else. He wants Krishna more than anyone else. This is the summary of heart of a sadhu. And that is the beginning. And as the more and more advanced sadhus, they come, they want exclusively only Krishna, nothing else. They want exclusively Krishna, no one else. So does it mean that devotees don't take association? They take association of only those people who Krishna is in favor of, those who are in favor of Krishna, those who are devotees of Krishna, those who glorify Krishna, and in whose association their attraction for Krishna increases. So, in that sense, Devaki and Vasudeva, they are sadhus. They left everything and went to forest to get Krishna. So, the devotee's austerity is something different from the austerity of all other ascetics. The devotee's austerity is born out of love for Krishna. And different other ascetics or different other paths to the absolute, they are motivated by different things. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakale ashanti. Krishna bhakta nishkama tathaiva shanta. Those who are working hard, right? They do a lot of karmas. They also do a lot of austerities, right? Bigger the salary, bigger the austerity, bigger the bondage. And nowadays we see big jobs in big cities. They appear very lucrative and attractive. But there is so much austerity also. So much hard work needed. And bigger the salary, they take big control on your life. A farmer who is in the village, he works in the season. They have one crop, maximum 2 crops. It's 2 quarters they work. And 2 quarters they are free in a year. Similarly, those who are businessmen, they have, those who are agricultural businessmen, they have also seasonal things, and they don't also do trading morning to night. They used to have specific timings and enough leisure in the day, So in this way, there was a lot of freedom. But now it is lost. Anytime you may get call, you have to be all the time on alert for any work that may come any time. So in this way, modern work is becoming more and more very, very difficult for the human being to cope up with. They travel 2 hours to the company, come back 2 hours, and some people, they travel from suburbs from, we see in Kolkata these trains, they travel 3 hours, 4 hours, the local trains before coming to the job, but same when they go back. And then 6 to 8 hours at the work. So there is also a lot of austerity. But the purpose of their austerity is bhakti. They want to enjoy their austerity, the fruits of their austerity. Similarly, those who are jnanis, those who understand that this material world is troublesome, they also take a lot of trouble. They also take a lot of austerity. They go to forest to do big austerities, like Hiranyakashipu. He did austerity, but of course his purpose is different. There are yogis, they go to Himalayas, they go to forest, they go to a secluded place in water. They do a lot of austerity just to control the mind, detach the senses from the world and the sensual objects in the world, and then control the mind, focus the mind so that to detach one's mind from the world. And finally, the goal is bhakti, to get out of this material world. Bhakti, mukti. So, but that process is very difficult. So they undergo a lot of tribulation. So they are also under a lot of difficulties. Klesha. Klesha adhikataras tesham avyakta chetasam. A lot of klesha is there, so much disturbing. Because they are mostly inclined towards impersonal aspect of the Lord. So therefore Lord cannot give personal help, tailored help. There is process, there is standards. You have to go through the process and reach the standards, then only you get mukti. There is no personal favors, because they don't accept God as personal. Siddhi, Mukti Siddhi. Siddhi means they are, after doing certain endeavors for Gnana, they obtain certain Siddhis. So before reaching their goal, they exhausted with the kleshas or the difficulties, and they say this enough is enough. Now we got some powers. Let us use these powers to live happily. We get attention, attraction, and support. And some people use that to also pose as God. They use those tricks to pose as a God, but the old age takes over them. So the whole problem for us here is that we try to be something which we are not, and we hanker something which is not meant for us. So Siddhi, so they also they are also unhappy, because though they are having some powers, they know that ultimately they are not able to overcome the problems that every citizen goes through. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Same problems they also undergo. So therefore they are also not happy. They are also ashanta. Right? Or one who is posing as God is becoming old, so his big drama is going on. Inside he knows he is not God, and outside, as long as he is young, he can show as a God, but when he becomes old, there is a big struggle inside. Outside he cannot show as with the dwindling body, he cannot show as God, but inside he has to somehow pretend to be God. So that was also big ashanti. You are God, but you cannot control your old age. You cannot control your eyesight, you cannot control your BP. You cannot control your sugar. So the Siddhi also, they become very ashantaha. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Tathaiva Shanta. Krishna devotees, they are Nishkama. What are Krishna devotees? They want Krishna. We are trying to become devotees of Krishna because Krishna is still not our top priority. We want Krishna, but in the name of Krishna we want many things, and we want them more than Krishna. That is the problem. Because if we have to make a decision which one we want, we decide to take the things in the name of Krishna than Krishna himself. So we are trying to be devotees yet. So the devotees, they want Krishna. That's why they become Nishkam. Because their all desires are rooted for Krishna. So when their desires are rooted for Krishna, they sacrifice their desire for themselves. Right? That is when we have become devotee. Not out of very difficulty. Gladly they give up their desires for Krishna's sake. So if we are able to come to that stage, then we are Shanta. So Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Tattaiva Shantaha. So we have a lot of way to go. We have so much, and the distance is very short and also very long. One who uses his free will to desire Krishna, genuine desire for love for Krishna. One who chooses to love Krishna using his free will. For him, the distance is very, very small. But one who uses his free will to choose others, other things over Krishna, for them the distance is very, very, very long. As long as one changes his free will towards Krishna. This is not a fixed distance. This is not a fixed physical distance like from Kolkata to Delhi. This is many kilometers. You keep traveling, you will reach there. The distance between us and Krishna is the psychological distance. It is not a physical distance. So therefore, as long as our psychology doesn't change, as long as our mind doesn't change for Krishna, the distance remains the same. As long as our mind remains the same, distance remains the same. So therefore, we should use our free will to choose to love Krishna. Because Krishna is the supreme object of love. Until we choose to love Krishna, then our distance is, there is no end until we change our free will. Until we change our free will to be with Krishna, our distance is not going to, we will not see the end of the distance. Because Krishna doesn't want to keep in the company someone who doesn't want to be with him. Right? So we need to change our mind, use our free will to love Krishna. So that is Shanta. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they are Shanta. Sadhus, they are sadhus. They are not wearing dresses of sadhu. They are in the Grihastha ashram. But they are sadhu because they are ready to sacrifice anything for Krishna, their personal comforts, their position, everything. All that they wanted is Krishna. So that is how one can attain Krishna, in whatever ashram one is. So here, the Lord has appeared as Vishnu to give pleasure to Devaki and Vasudeva. Right? As if appearing from the womb. It is again very transcendental. He entered the mind of Vasudeva, and from there he entered the mind of Devaki, and there he entered into the womb. So when he appeared as a Vishnu also, he disappeared here and appeared there. So it appears like as if he came from the womb. Because Devaki could feel. That is number one. Number two, he appeared as Vishnu. That, okay, you came and did so many austerities for me, to get me. You gave up your comforts and you took so much austerity to get me. So now here I am for you. So Krishna become a baby, and he is under complete shelter of Devaki and Vasudeva. Like a baby, is fully dependent on Devaki and Vasudeva. Parents is fully dependent on them. So that is the reciprocal love of Krishna. When we depend on Krishna, Krishna depends on us. Though Krishna has no necessity to depend on us. Sometimes when we're in an organization, we measure some devotees' progress level by the kind of management one does. But for Krishna, management is different. So because he is inefficient, let us replace him with something else. Right? That's what. One gets an opportunity that somebody is not a good manager, somebody. Sripal Maharaj also. Some people used to complain that he's not a good manager, very soft and very simple and not good management. So we should all it should be under us, something like that. But the thing is that the spiritual management is something different from material management. Krishna does not depend on material management. Krishna depends on the devotees who depend on him. If required, Krishna waits. Maybe the devotee is not very efficient in making things. So Krishna brings people close to that person who can do that management. Krishna's management is that to bring the efficient manager under somebody who is surrendered, is dependent on Krishna. That is spiritual management. What is material management? Remove the person who is surrendered to Guru and Krishna in the name of management, and we become the manager. So this is the difference. So Srila Prabhupada also same, right? Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sripad is completely dependent on the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is completely dependent on Swarupa Damodar for Bhakti Vedanta Institute. If there is some delay, Krishna waits, Prabhupada waits. Because their management is not material management, it is spiritual management. Because they want this only through them. Like Krishna, he also accepts only if it is offered with devotion and by devotees. Otherwise he waits. And he knows how to manage things, other things. So this we should be very careful in our management, Who is more surrendered, who is more dependent. And we try to, if we are less surrendered and less dependent, we try to help the other person who is more dependent, more surrendered. So such a person is in spiritual management and he gets the krupa. But one who is in the material management, he will only get the material things, buildings, some people who are like us will follow us. So that's all we get. So that person could be our junior, that person could be, less educated than us. Less qualified than us. But we depend. We have to depend on that person. And that is spiritual management, that is Krishna's management. So here, Krishna, he has to appear, but he waits for his devotees, suitable devotees who desperately want him. Sometimes the demigods, they are very impatient because there are a lot of demons who are troubling them. But Krishna waits. Because it is not only that he has to deliver the demons, he also wants to give pleasure to his devotees. So therefore he waits for the suitable particular devotee who wants to be his parents. Krishna waits. So here, Devaki and Vasudeva, they left everything for Krishna, and they also engage in the baby making also for Krishna. So we should have patience too. And if we step over somebody who is more surrendered and more dependent on Krishna, then we may attract displeasure of Krishna. That is the greatest defeat in our spiritual journey. That is the greatest defeat, and that is the greatest ignorance we have. We came here to do bhakti to please Krishna, but if we don't control our mind, we end up doing the opposite and displeasing Krishna. So our time is coming to end. There are many things to talk about, even about this. The Lord Trimurtis, they are, the Lord Vasudeva knows that the Lord appears as the Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. The Vishnu is himself, and Lord Shiva is like a milk transformed to curd, and Brahma is Jiva Tattva. So though the three of them carry different functions, but it is the Lord himself who can actually do absolute creation, absolute maintenance, and absolute destruction. Brahma cannot do absolute creation. Right? He need to be provided ingredients. And also, Brahma mostly creates the living beings rather than the universes. The universes are created by the Lord. So therefore, absolute creation again is only by the Lord. In fact, there is an absolute creation because even the Mahat Tattva is also eternal. This energy is there in the potential form in the Lord. It manifests from the Lord. You can say that creation process is a transformation process, gradual transformation process. So that is done by the Lord only. The Brahma takes the credit for creation of the universe, of the world, but actually it is the Vishnu who is a creator also. And Shiva, he started the process of annihilation. Right? He is the personification of time. Time also, actually, time destroys everything in this universe. Everything has an invisible clock. So though Lord Shiva does take this annihilation part, the time does it. Time is destroying everything, You buy a mobile, there is a clock. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it gets destroyed. A tree is created, it destroys. So the destruction is their continuous process. Creation, destruction. So Lord Shiva does not completely dissolve, completely destroy. It is again the Lord who absorbed that into himself, the universe into himself. So that's why in the beginning is the Lord, in the middle is the Lord, at the end is the Lord. So without the Lord, background support, nobody can do either creation, maintenance or sustenance, the resolution. Right? That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. The Lord is a connecting thread, invisible thread which is supporting the perils. In the case of creation, maintenance, destruction, also it is the Lord who is the resting place of creation, maintenance and destruction. Though outside we may see different perils in white, red and black, and many combinations of that. 3 modes, so many combinations are there. This is what we see, but it is the Lord who is supporting all these 3 and different shades of these 3. Like Sutre Manigana Iva. One who knows this, the wise who know this, they worship me with all their intelligence and in all their hearts. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So any questions, kindly come forward.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you Maharaj for the class. Yeah, there is a question. But yes, Mataji, you can ask. You can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Maharaj, how we will be able to surrender fully unto the Guru and Krishna as we are so ignorant?
By using our free will, Svecha. We have to use our free will to surrender our mind to Krishna. Machchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. We should surrender our mind to Krishna. Right? The gopis, what they surrendered? Did they surrender their home, their husbands, their household paraphernalia? No. They surrendered their mind to Krishna. They lost their mind to Krishna. Madgata pranaha. Their lives are hanging for Krishna, with the hope that Krishna will come back, with the hope that they will meet Krishna. So what they do when Krishna is not there? Bodhayantah parasparam. They enlighten about Krishna. Krishna is like this. Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna is so merciful. Krishna is so kind. Krishna is so brave. Krishna is so humorous. Krishna is so loving. This everybody can do. You don't want to surrender different things, surrender mind. Mind, nobody can stop us to surrender to Krishna. Right?
Yes.
Husband wants to give money, wife may stop. Wife wants to give money, husband may stop. Children want to give Jan full time, parents may stop. Or relatives may stop. Friends may stop. So many people may stop so many things. But nobody can stop us from giving our mind to Krishna. Nobody is stopping. It is we are stopping ourselves. So whatever work you may do, for whom you may do, but still you can give your mind to Krishna. Like the gopis, when they are doing their household activities, they are fully absorbed in Krishna. But it doesn't mean that we should not give up. Whoever has the facility, they can give up. Whoever has the opportunity to do so, they can also physically do. But those who cannot do is the mind. But even if you give up everything and everybody, but your mind is not given to Krishna, mind is hovering about other things in the name of Krishna, that again is not very good. So Matchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramansi, and take great pleasure in that. Talking about Krishna, serving Krishna, glorifying Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I have one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Like, how we know that Krishna is reciprocating with us, and in what form, in what way?
There is nothing you are getting without Krishna's giving. You are not getting anything without Krishna giving. Not a single thing you are getting without Krishna giving. So if we write down this in our mind, then you realize slowly. Not a single thing you are getting without Krishna's giving, including your body. Including the air, including whatever we are eating, whatever we are speaking, hearing. There is not a single thing we are getting in our life without Krishna giving. Only because of our ignorance we are thinking somebody is giving, somebody is giving, somebody is giving. This he is giving, that he is giving. They are all different mediums, but it is Krishna who is giving us. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. We think we are very intelligent, but we don't have this intelligence. That whatever I am getting, it is Krishna who is giving. This is the intelligence. So one may be knows a lot of theories about universe, about atom, about the biology. But if he doesn't have this knowledge that they are coming from Krishna, then his knowledge is not perfect, not so useful. But one may not be so expert at all these things, but a simple person village thing, he knows, he understands that everything is coming from Krishna. He is more intelligent than the person who understands so many details, but he doesn't understand the origin. So, the real intelligence is that not a single thing we are getting without Krishna giving. It is not that how do we know something is coming from Krishna. It is not a question of something. Everything we are getting from Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. A little one I want. Anukulesha Sankalpa, Pratikulesha Varjana. Please, a little explanation. Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Anukulasya sankalpam pratikulasya varjanam. Yeah, very simple, no? Accept everything that is favorable to Krishna, pleases Krishna. Give up everything that doesn't please Krishna. So you use your mind to give up. In your mind you give up whatever is not favorable to Krishna, at least. If you can't do physically, at least in the mind you give up. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam. Because for Matajis there are so many restrictions in our Vedic culture. But we have a great instrument called mind. Whatever you do in mind, also Krishna accepts as if you do in the real. So Vedic system is also given by Krishna. Some certain customs are there. You cannot cross them. But there is no boundary for mind. There is boundary for our body. There is boundary, social customs, there are for body, but not for our mind. And whatever we do in our mind, with love and affection, Krishna accepts them as much as we do with the real physical thing. And even more, because Krishna more concerned about the mind than the real thing. We do outwardly, but inwardly we are suffering. We give little donation, it appears like good donation, but inside we are not so. If somebody else could have sponsored this, it would have been better. You know. Or I earn 1 crore, I give 1 lakh. And one who is earning 1 lakh, he is giving 50,000. That appears like small, right? But his donation is bigger. So, anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulesya varjanam. This we can do in the mind and we must do in the mind. If somebody is against Krishna, if we cannot give physically, we should give them up mentally. And Krishna accepts it as the same. And we have many stories, right? When you do it in the mind, Krishna accepts them from your mind. Like Devaki and Vasudeva, when Krishna is born, we'll see they have donated 10,000 cows in their mind. Because they are in the jail, they cannot go out and give cows. They don't have anything in the jail. So therefore in the mind they have given 10,000 cows to the Brahmanas. So we can do it the same way. Anukulasya sankalpam, pratikulasya varjanam. We should do mentally, physically also. If it's not physical, at least mentally we should do. And Krishna accepts it as good as physical. Because ultimately what Krishna wants is our mind. Our heart. Okay?
Hare Krishna. Pranam, Dandapat, Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Srikant Prabhuji.
First of all, a very beautiful class, like always. We wish that we could hear from Your Holiness more. We say that surrender to Guru and Krishna. Why don't we just say surrender to Guru? Because many people, the devotees who try to act smart, they may actually misuse this. I hope Your Holiness is understanding my question. Please elaborate.
Yes, surrender to Guru is same as surrender to Krishna. And it is useful for those who don't have full faith on Sri Guru. So it helps them to make the transition. Number one. And number two, it is both Guru and Krishna, both are acting in our life. Guru is instructing us from the outside and Krishna is instructing us from inside. But Krishna favors those who surrender to Guru. More than those who surrender to him directly. Because to surrender to God is very easy. Right? Of course, that is also difficult. Because Krishna is the greatest magnanimous, this, that, so much we have. But to surrender to somebody who is dear to Krishna is very difficult. Because such a person appears to be human, he is also becoming old, he is also body like us, he also gets sick like us. So therefore it is more difficult to surrender to Sri Guru than to surrender to Krishna. And in between there is something more. It is easy to surrender to previous acharyas than the physical acharya. Because previous acharyas, they don't come and hold our hand, right? We are doing something wrong, they cannot hold our ear. So, this is the order of difficulty. Surrender to Krishna, surrender to previous acharya, and surrender to acharya who is physically there. Physically whom you have met and this one. So, technically it is not wrong to say surrender to Guru and Krishna because both are acting, and it is not impersonal that we become impersonal to Krishna while we surrender to Guru. So, we surrender to Guru as a gesture of surrender to Krishna because that is what Krishna is asking. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevayat. You go and surrender to a sadhu, render service and do this. So to surrender to Krishna is first. Then knowing Krishna wants to surrender to his devotee. Krishna wants to surrender to someone whom Krishna loves. That is the next level of surrender. So, it is like Achintya Veda, but at the same time, practically, it is very important, more important to surrender to Sri Guru because he is going to clear all our fog in our minds, in our brains, and in our consciousness. because we don't even know our problems. We need somebody who sees our problems and corrects us. So that's why Krishna sends his devotees who are pure to make us pure. So technically there is no wrong. In the process also there is no wrong. Right? So we cannot also be impersonal to Krishna. Oh, I am only Guru, I don't think about you, I only think about Guru. We can also do that, but we cannot avoid Krishna. Guru wants you to think about Krishna. Right? Now Guru is teaching now with Bhakti. What is that? Remember Krishna. All the time, never forget. So it is like a wave particle duality. It is the same thing, there is no difference. But we are on the particle level, so we have to deal with on the particle level with Sri Guru. Right? Guru and Krishna are the same particle and wave nature, Guru is a localized manifestation and Krishna is a all-pervading manifestation of the same thing. But because we are in the manifested world, we have to go through the particle, we have to interact with the Sri Guru, and it will be eternal. And that's how we connect the all-pervading. The only way you can understand the reality is by making a measurement which appears like a particle, right? The only way we can experience divinity is through Sri Guru. Otherwise, Murti is there in the temple, everybody is going, but everybody is not getting transformed. As much as one gets transformed under the supervision of Sri Guru. Because the Sri Vigraha in the temple, the previous acharyas, they impose a limitation on themselves, how much they interact with us. But Sri Guru, one who is physically present, is fully available to us, he will interact. That is also their arrangement. So we have to respect that arrangement also. Okay, Prabhuji? Anything left out? Your question is answered.
Definitely, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. We can conclude for today.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जय गुरु प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज शिला श्रीपाद की जय,
Jai.
शिला श्रीपाद भक्त वृंद की जय, भागवतम स्टूडेंट्स की जय. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna. His divine grace and
So Holiness, Bhakti Swarupa, Vrajapati, Pai Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
जय.
Jai.